Welcome to part 3 of What Your Audience Wants. In part 1, we talked about how incredibly difficult it is sometimes for your audience members to take action. You know, change is difficult for everyone. It's risky, it can be costly, and we tend to like to stick with the status quo if we can. Even when we want to make a change, sometimes we're just not compelled enough to do so. And so intentions to change and actual change and behavior can be two very different things. In the second segment, we talked about how adding benefits to the ratio may actually send someone to action. And that is looking at what are some universal outcomes that we all seek. What are some things that are important to us that you may be able to connect to? And by making that connection and your audience feeling that connection, it might actually prompt them to action. Well, sadly, people still don't always make a change. And so today we're going to talk about one more technique, and that is helping them to solve pain. You know, many of us intend to do all kinds of things that would be good for us. But until something really comes along that creates in us a real sense of internal pain, we still may not be compelled enough to action. So one of the things I want you to remember is that pain trumps gain. That's right, pain trumps gain. In most cases, if we have a choice between investing our time and money in something that will give us a long-term benefit versus something that will relieve an immediate and nagging pain, we'll actually choose to get rid of the pain. So knowing this, how can you use this information in helping to bring your audiences to action? Well, the important thing is to begin to learn as much as you can about your audience's pain. And certainly in general conversation, you'll be amazed at how much you can pick up. And there's an old saying that says, know your audience. Well, this is why. The more you know about their internal struggles, the more you can tie that to your message and really help to make that connection for them. And so beyond listening to the general conversation, you can even dig deeper. Ask really interesting questions such as, what's the number one thing that keeps you up at night? Or what's the first thing on your mind when you wake up in the morning? Those kinds of questions can really help you dig deep into their psyche and figure out what it is that is causing them pain. And then you can help to figure out a strategy to tie the elimination of that pain to a particular action. And so what we have tried to do today is give you a second motivational process, either looking at how to build benefits as we did in part 2, or in this case, how to identify pain. You know, remember that human beings are always going to take the safest and easiest route possible. And so we've got to figure out how to make sure that your words tie to the action and that the audience clearly sees that taking the action is going to either result in a significant gain or an elimination of pain. It's all about connection. And I hope that this information has connected with you. Before you begin that next presentation, take some time to think about gains and pains. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like more information, visit my website at www.presentationsforresults.com.